They
kinds
just
of stuff.
saying that to protect their business, or is it actually a threat?
It's both. They are definitely protecting their business, and they will drum it up as much as possible. Yeah. But I do think there are national security implications.
Start it up. Let's get it rolling. Big ideas, money folding. Hustle smart, dream so wild. Turn that grind into a joyride.
Have you ever heard of AI distillation?
No. Sounds like some sort of like water Brita filter of AI.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me try and explain it. Okay. It's kind of like the Luke Skywalker, the learner, is to the Yoda,
the Padawan,
the teacher. The Padawan and the master, the Jedi master.
Okay? Anakin never achieved the rank of master.
So apparently this is a fairly common thing where they essentially use like AI big models to train smaller models, and that this is called AI distillation.
Okay. Smaller models being like more niche.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a company specific model.
Right. Okay. So this is like hot off the presses, but Anthropic posted like a blog post, an announcement or whatever, that Chinese AI companies just got caught using 24,000 fake accounts to copy American AI models. So
wow.
16 million stolen conversations. It's an AI heist movie, except it's real.
Wait. Hang on.
Yeah.
Detail this heist for me a little bit more.
So, okay, let me go into more detail.
What do you mean, like fake
this.
accounts? Like fake accounts in ChatGPT or something?
Yeah, and Anthropic and Claude. So it was Anthropic that posted this, okay, because I think they caught them. Okay. So yeah, you know how there are, I'm going to get the name of them. Okay. So it was
DeepSeek
3 different Chinese AI labs: DeepSeek, Moonshot AI, and MiniMax. Okay. Yeah. That's our startup.
I remember that. That was the startup we were going to have that was going to blow up the moon. We needed to raise funding so we could buy a bunch of ICBMs, blow up the moon, and then because of the effect of erosion on coastal areas, which is billions of dollars a year, trillions of dollars, so we could get rid of that, and then we could sell the moon rocks because now these are like really rare. They're not going to have more. So the premium we get is unbelievable.
Project Moonshot.
Somebody like listening right now is like fucking horrified.
If anybody knows any VCs who'd like to fund this,
if you want to be part of project, we were going to call it Moonshot.ai because it was a literal moonshot, and AI because it's got to be AI something. Yeah.
Anyways, so Chinese company took our name.
Okay,
So
we'll be hearing from our attorney.
So, anyways, this is kind of silly, but essentially they had 3 labs create over 24,000 fraudulent accounts and generated more than 16 million exchanges with Claude to extract its capabilities for training their own models. Okay.
To understand the capabilities of Claude.
So distillation is a legitimate AI training technique where a smaller model learns by studying outputs of a stronger one by using it to steal from competitors via fake accounts. It violates the terms of service, potentially export controls, all that sort of stuff. It kind of also end runs around the whole NVIDIA chip boycott where they can't export those NVIDIA chips to China.
Well, does it really though? Because I mean, like that's like processing power, right? So the chips.
Yeah.
So,
but this is a way to get around it, right? You train your model by just asking another model. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So you use a software approach instead of a hardware approach.
Interesting.
Okay. So the scale.
Wait. You're saying if I wanted to make an LLM, I wouldn't need like these high-powered NVIDIA chips. I just need like some decent chips, and then I could go and like illegally steal the outputs, and I would train my model. Really?
That's AI distillation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So DeepSeek had 150,000 plus exchanges targeting reasoning capabilities.
Sure.
Moonshot had 3.4 million exchanges targeting agentic tool use and coding, and MiniMax had 13 million exchanges targeting coding stuff. That was the largest campaign. So MiniMax was caught mid-operation when Anthropic released a new model, which I think is their Opus 4.6, which is actually one I'm using. MiniMax pivoted within 24 hours, redirecting half of their traffic to extract from the new model than the old. Okay, so they kind of got greedy, and that's how they got caught. The lab system used a Hydra. I've never heard of this, but it's called a Hydra cluster proxy network. So one network managed 20,000 plus accounts simultaneously, mixing distillation traffic with legitimate requests to hide the activity. Like they thought about this. They didn't just be like
next level. This is state level hacking.
So apparently, OpenAI made similar accusations against DeepSeek, in a memo to the U.S. House Select Committee on China earlier this month. And the irony factor, okay? So this I find, this is ironic. So Anthropic itself settled a $1.5 billion copyright lawsuit with authors last year.
They were
over trading on copyrighted books. So like, Anthropic, we're just going to read all these books to train our AI model. Then somebody else like reads Anthropic Claude to train their AI model, and Anthropic's like, wait a second,
when we steal, it's us. When you steal, it's you.
Don't steal the thing that we stole.
No, 100%.
Pretty ironic.
That's fascinating, though.
Wow.
That's crazy.
All right, so can I throw some questions at you to get your hot take? So 3 Chinese AI, so 24,000 fake accounts, asked Claude 16 million questions, steal intelligence. Is this industrial espionage, or is this just how the AI industry works and everybody's pretending to be shocked?
This feels like industrial espionage.
This feels like state level.
Yeah, this is like well organized.
Like,
because I was thinking while you were saying it, I was like, why did they even allow? Like, maybe you cut off that market or something. I guess it's a lot of users for them potentially.
But they're using proxies. You don't realize
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They're not all coming from Shanghai.
No. Like they're VPNing and they're like using proxies or whatever. They're doing all these different things to try and avoid detection. But I think imagine the resources behind like a country like China that doesn't want to fall behind in an AI, effectively like an arms race.
Yeah,
it makes sense to me that they're doing anything.
Yeah,
like they don't care.
Yeah,
and by the same token, I would argue that the companies in Silicon Valley are also doing anything. Yeah. Because they know how valuable the race is theoretically if you win it. Or, I mean, it's already valuable, trillions of dollars in investment, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess I'm shocked in the way that it's like so bold and that they got caught.
Yeah.
But also like for what it's worth, like historically, China has stolen a lot of technology from the West. This isn't like something they've done like that's new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think is surprising, not surprising.
Yeah. I'm surprised they had to do it, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like they're very strong technically.
Yeah.
Do they actually have to steal this?
So there's what, 1.6 billion people in China?
Yeah.
So that means there's 1,600 people that are 1 in a million.
Yeah.
So you have these unbelievable minds that are incredible that can then take on these problems, and they're still having to resort to tactics like this.
Yeah.
I think it's more a function of like fear. I think this is a fear on the part of like the I don't know, it's not called the Politburo, but like the Chinese Communist Party leadership, who, let's be fucking honest, they probably don't know a goddamn thing about what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the American politicians know. I think we have a surface level knowledge of it.
Right.
There is probably like a select, couple thousand people in the world who really know what's going on here and how serious it can be.
Yeah.
But I do know that everybody knows to fear.
Yeah.
To fear this.
Yeah.
And fear getting behind.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of interesting that it's just a manifestation of desperation.
Yeah. But you keep in mind, though, that this
good rhyme
AI
there.
distillation is like a legitimate thing that AI companies do. Do you remember the project 2020? What is it, 2027? But it's actually 2028 now.
And now it's 2034.
2034. Yeah.
They bumped it by 7 years, which is a big.
But do you remember how in that story the like old AI model trains the new AI model, and then the new AI model trains the. So that's AI distillation. So this
Makes
is kind
sense.
of like a normal thing. I think what makes it, the debate here is, does it make it stealing because they were going to a competitor and using the competitor's model to train their model? Is it stealing? Yeah.
Well, let's put it in.
It was definitely against the terms of service.
Well, terms of service, whatever. I mean, that's true, and I think that is fully legitimate. For startup.
Yeah.
Secondly, let's put it in a totally different context. Let's say you have a company and you make mops. Okay, really special mops.
Yeah.
You got a design for the mop. You've patented said mop. Okay. Right. One day, a competitor of yours somehow gets into your factory, or perhaps as a plant employee in your organization, steals the plans for the mop, sends that over to the other company. Yeah. They make a mop that's marginally different, but basically the exact same thing. That's corporate espionage. That's theft. And I think that's equivalent to this scenario.
Okay, fine.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't that seem like it? They stole the blueprint.
Yeah.
They stole the blueprint.
They did. Yeah. So now here's the kind of the risk in this, though, is that, the security guardrails, they talk about AI safety a lot, all that sort of stuff. That gets stripped out through AI distillation, right? Because it's not apparent to somebody using it what AI guardrails are in that.
What the prime directive
just
is.
the outputs that you're getting, right? After it's gone through the AI guardrails. So the new system, if it doesn't have any AI guardrails, there's a risk there of
anybody out there creating an LLM that doesn't have adequate guardrails. Like this is a risk anywhere.
Yeah.
Anybody doing that.
Yeah.
I think that it makes people feel uncomfortable because on a political level, the Chinese government has different values from Western societies in a pretty stark way.
Yeah.
And so I think that is also super legit. And it is dangerous.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's the biggest issue I have with this.
Yeah.
Is it's dangerous.
Okay, so on that vein, OpenAI and Anthropic are framing this as like a national security issue.
They're right.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. Yeah. Don't you think so?
I guess, yeah.
These tools are too powerful.
Yeah.
Like Chris, I don't think you can take any theft of anything AI related as you can't like hand wave it.
Yeah.
This is its implications for society, for military technology, for all
Are they
kinds
just
of stuff.
saying that to protect their business, or is it actually a threat?
It's both. They are definitely protecting their business, and they will drum it up as much as possible. Yeah. But I do think there are national security implications. Like, think about it. The Americans aren't going to sell those chips to the Chinese because they're so worried about it.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's national security.
They're obviously, and that is one of the thoughts that I had as well. Is that, hey, this is the way that China is getting around the chip exports. Is they're saying, okay, well, we're just going to strip the knowledge.
There's no
out of
creativity without constraints, right? So they found a way to figure this out. Like, I don't know, but I do think this is very serious. For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely national security level.
Yeah. So I guess for startup companies, can I
offer something really quick there too? On the flip side of that, though, if you're China, I think you're also like, you have a legitimate fear of the United States doing this too. Like if you try to put yourself in the shoes, not of like, I don't really care about the Chinese government, but if you're like the Chinese people and all you're hearing is that, the government we're falling behind these Americans and the Americans don't align with us either. Like you'd be worried. And so like, I try to think that on a human level, everybody's kind of really afraid. And I think that's what drives a lot of this behavior.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So if you're a startup founder, what lesson are you getting here?
What do you think?
I think you better try and protect your IP. You better be aware that other companies are going to use AI distillation to try and strip what you have in your AI models.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think definitely if you're a company building a model, you'd want to be more alert to that, so that this sort of thing can happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not really sure if you're a smaller company, how do you catch something like this?
I don't know.
Right? There's no way you're monitoring it at the same degree that these incredibly well-funded companies are.
Well, it took Anthropic a while to figure it out. Right.
Like think how much
24,000 accounts.
Like that's actually like pretty minute though. Like think about how many accounts they have.
Yeah.
Like it would be very difficult.
They were doing things to hide the traffic as well.
Right.
So yeah.
I think the reality is this is probably happening to a lot of LLMs.
I bet you there's a dedicated team in all these AI companies now that are just looking for this.
Well, the reason why Anthropic would publish something like this is because their mission is more about like, let's not lose the world and all this whole pursuit of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
But I think like they are probably saying, well, we're going to put this out there so that smaller companies can also be aware of this particular threat and look to see if it's happening in their systems as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty interesting.
So let's say you're a startup founder. You've got an AI company and you got something hyper niche that's really specific, that's really killing it. Okay. Like, are you concerned that a competitor is going to use some technique like this to extract that knowledge out of your system?
Yeah.
So how do you create a moat? How do you maintain your competitive advantage?
Well, there's got to be some sort of, I mean, you're the tech guy.
Yeah.
What would you do to create a technical limitation of this?
You got to keep innovating. You
got to stay a step ahead. It's just, but then,
like, to think about that from a practical sense, like when we were building pre-AI, okay, we were always having to build new features that the competitors had to respond to. That was the way that.
But I guess it's so much
ahead.
easier in this context for the LLM to learn the way you did something. Like, so you improve your model, then like literally the next day, it's listening and learning from the way you're doing it.
Pivoted, they pivoted in 24 hours to the new.
So like I think that's
model.
Sure, you have to innovate, but that's like for any market. I think you need legitimate technical safeguards or some way to detect this kind of behavior.
Yeah.
Or try to detect maybe bizarre interactions with your LLM. But I think it would be extremely challenging. It's also kind of part of new emerging high value markets.
Yeah.
Is just this kind of, we can do anything to try to win this. And I think you're seeing an example of this kind of behavior. It's just like anything, all is fair in love and war.
Yeah.
And it feels very much like they're at war and they're going for it.
So that's actually my second takeaway from this episode, which is the AI IP landscape is messy and hypocritical.
Yeah,
it is a mess.
Yes, it is.
And everybody is stealing from everybody.
That's my biggest apprehension. Like, not that we were like about to make an LLM or something.
Yeah.
But definitely a really active like apprehension I would have into entering this kind of a market would be that it's such a shit show. That it's so all over the place and unregulated. It just seems like a really good way to lose a good idea really quickly.
Okay. So I think the moat that if you're an AI company and you're trying to build something unique, your AI model isn't your moat. Okay. People can steal it. People can take that out. So you have to look at other things that are going to be your moats. So proprietary data. So if you have some sort of data that other people don't have,
fine.
There's a bit of a risk around that.
Sure.
But customer relationships are obviously a really big deal. We were big on that, knowing our customers, that sort of stuff. The speed of iteration, I think that's what I was talking about when I was talking about features and staying ahead from a feature perspective. How quickly you can keep iterating gets exhausting for other competitors to try and keep replicating every feature that you have and that sort of stuff. And they're always seen as the catch-up people. They're not the innovators, right? So those are things that can't really
like.
Be
I would agree. And I think that if you were to look at, let's do another example just to kind of reinforce this. And again, going back to the market leaders in artificial intelligence. So you look at OpenAI and you look at Anthropic. Let's just assume that their products are basically equivalent, even though I know that's not totally true. They have strengths, and like Claude is really good for B2B, and also Claude Code is fantastic by all accounts, and OpenAI is like really strong with consumers and all that kind of stuff. But assuming that they're like reasonably similar, like what are the things that you as a purchaser are going to make a decision about which one to go with? And a lot of the time it's either some form of convenience, or perhaps it's their mission, or it's the way that it's deployed, the voice that it uses, maybe configure, but like there's a mix of features and like the way it is and what they believe in.
Right.
And then that is probably going to make a more comprehensive purchase decision.
It's all these non-related to your AI model moats that you're trying to create, because those are the things that can't be easily replicated.
Remember, like the way you do something is just as important to the thing you do.
Yeah.
Like it's really, if you have two companies doing the same thing in the market, it's the way in which these companies do it is part of their offering, and that will affect what choices and what consumers gravitate to which one.
Yeah. I go back to the speed at which we were developing features in our products were, I think we were fortunate that we were so small and we could push out features as fast as we did. Whereas I don't think our competitors could ever touch us from a speed perspective. And I think that is a real moat from like a product dev side.
It's a whole new world though. Like what you're talking about is like your software basically learning from better pieces of software within a 24-hour period and improving themselves. Like, holy shit. Like we're in a totally different animal versus what we were doing with AppArmor.
Yeah.
That makes me a little bit uncomfortable being like, it's not just about the innovation piece. Yes, it's important.
Right.
But I'm not trying to trivialize your expertise, because you are an excellent coder and coding is really challenging. But there is something to be said, like these tools are doing great.
Like it's a formula. Okay. Your moat is made up of a bunch of different things.
Yes.
And each factor has a different role to play, but you have to be looking at all of them. I don't think you can just say, oh, it's just our customer relationships, because eventually that runs out of gas.
So I guess it's like, to your point, it's like, would people go, so it was Claude that was being, it was Anthropic that was being stolen from, I guess.
OpenAI as well.
But let's just, so it was like DeepSeek or something.
Yeah, DeepSeek.
Like, are there people flocking to DeepSeek now because the tech is the same or better? No.
Yeah.
I don't think
like,
so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many other decisions.
No, I don't know. Maybe in China they are.
Maybe. I think if you're Chinese, you're probably more pumped about Chinese models, and if you're American, you're more pumped about American models.
Yeah.
And then if you're in the Western world, you're probably more pro like American models, and if you're in the Eastern part, it could be a mix.
But then at some point too, there's like a cost factor, and if you're like, well, I can get this Chinese model that's 95% of what an American model can do.
Just don't ask it about Tiananmen Square or anything like that.
Nothing controversial. Yeah. Cool.
But no, I think so. I think to your point, you're right. The mode is more complex.
Yeah.
But that's I would argue has always been true. I think what's just alarming is that technical advantages can erode in a 48-hour, 24-hour period.
Yeah.
Which is
that's mind blowing.
Terrifying.
Yeah. It's a whole new world.
A whole brave new world. Yeah. All right, folks, that's it. We'll catch you guys next week.
Hey. Start it up. Let's get it rolling. Big ideas, money folding. Hustle smart, dream so wide. Turn that grind into a joyride.